Hello and welcome in this talk, Odoo Inventory and MRP, the new replenishment method. So my name is Gilles Merckx and I'm a business analyst in Odoo. I will explain you during 20 minutes how works the new replenishment method and why it is useful in Odoo. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask this question in the chat and I will answer those questions after the presentation. The new replenishment method in Odoo 14 is actually super interesting for purchase, inventory and manufacturing. It will save you time and it will ease your processes. Let's see how. The first question is, why do we need a new replenishment method? If I think about Odoo, about the replenishing in Odoo, I think that we already have many ways to easily replenish in Odoo. So why do we need another method? Actually, there are different reasons for that. First, for visibility. Now, this new replenishment method will gather all the products that are likely to be reordered in a single place. So this information was already in Odoo, but now it's in a single specific menu, making things much easier. So it will also improve simplicity and easiness. Actually, you don't want to just have a single menu with everything displayed. You want, in addition, to be able to order or replenish anything from there to stay in this single menu, and that's possible with the new replenishment menu. And finally, a huge gain of this new method is the gain of flexibility. So in Odoo you had already like reordering rules, MTO, to make things automated when you wanted to reorder, to replenish. But this is fine when your products are bought like always from the same vendor, always with the same price, with the same route. But now we want to be able to trick this information to make things much more flexible without having to change too many things. And actually, this new replenishment method makes sense, is a disruptive change in Odoo because it gathers simplicity, visibility, and flexibility. That's why we like it a lot. So let me show you the few features of this new replenishment menu. So the first thing is that you can replenish everything from one place. So if I look at it, I see all the products likely to be reordered, either because they have a negative forecasted quantity, either because they have a manual reordering rule defined on this product. So this menu will display products with a negative forecasted quantities and products that have a manual reordering rule. What is the manual reordering rule? It's a new concept in parallel of this menu. Actually, it is exactly the same as an automated reordering rule, except that you do not run it automatically, but manually when you want, which gives you more control. And to make this replenishment, it's easy through a single button, which is there. You see it on the right. The Order Once button will generate automatically an RFQ, but not only. Actually, it can also generate a manufacturing order or an internal transfer if you replenish through this method, because you can replenish by manufacturing yourself. So you do not always purchase from suppliers. It can also be simply launching a manufacturing order that will help you to replenish. So you have so much possibilities from there, and in addition to this, you can easily change the vendor or the route or even the quantity on those manual reordering rules. We can see here there are some parameters that we can tweak because we do not always do the same thing. Maybe sometimes we want to purchase something from a supplier and sometimes we want to manufacture it ourselves, as we will show after. Maybe we have different vendors and we always use vendor 1, but for this time we want to use vendor 3. And so we see that we have much more control, much more visibility, much more flexibility, and we can manage everything from there with the Order Once button. So this is a new replenishment method. It's super useful. As I said, it's a disruptive change in Odoo. You can really manage almost everything from there for purchase inventory, which is really super new. So you have everything in one place and you can switch anything within a couple of clicks, which is really good. So let's do it together in a live demo and I will show you how it works in practice in Odoo. So for this, I have prepared a small database. I will explain you how it works. Let me make maybe the screen a bit bigger like this. It's okay. Okay, perfect. So here, if I go to inventory, the new replenishment menu is there. Inventory, operations, replenishment. But before this, let me show you first what my company is doing. My company sells doors. Well, actually, it's not mine, but let's say it's mine. That's the double door, the single door, the two products we can sell. In addition, we have also the wood panels. Wood panels are there because we can manufacture doors from these, and we see we have much inventory on the end here because we do not want to focus on the manufacturing process. So how do we sell doors? If I go to my warehouses, I can show you. I have 3 warehouses. One, which is a distribution center, which will replenish the different shops. We have 1 shop in Belgium and 1 shop in France. So how does it work? The shops, when they need to make sale, when they want to have inventories, they get replenished from the distribution center, and the distribution center has actually 2 options. Either it will manufacture itself the doors, either it will replenish from suppliers. That's how it gets filled in and how it can then replenish the shops. But the shops will typically use the distribution center to replenish, but sometimes the shops will also replenish from each other, or directly from the suppliers, or even from, as we said, from the distribution center. So there are actually multiple flows, multiple options, and that's why we cannot always use the same route, the same logic, but we want to take advantage of this replenishment menu, which shows us everything we need to have. So here, this is the new replenishment method from which I want to manage all the replenishment. By default, I have, if I remove snoozed, I have products with a negative quantity. This is a negative forecasted quantities, which means that we are likely to reorder it. So by default, all products with negative forecasted quantities are displayed in this menu because these are likely to be reordered. And there, I can decide how I want to replenish it. So here, I will not focus on the double door, so I will just snooze it. Snooze just means that you keep it, you remove it like for 1 day. So it's still there. The system knows that you still need to manage this, but it will appear tomorrow. So let's say you want to keep it, to put it out of your plate for today, and it will come back tomorrow so that you have full visibility on what you have to do today. So now here what I see is that for the single door, I have some stock in the distribution center, and actually I have 43 units. But I have here a manual reordering rule. Namely, this menu does not only display the products that have negative forecasted quantities, but also all the products which have a manual reordering rule displayed here. So it's exactly the same thing as a classical automated reordering rule, but here the trigger is manual. So it means that it will not be run automatically, but it will be run manually when you need it. So you will have to do just order once, to make it work. If you want to replenish, by default, it will suggest to replenish up to the maximum quantity. So here I have 43 units on stock, so it will say, look, you can order 37 to reach 80. If you want to switch your manual reordering rule into an automated reordering rule, then it's easy. You just click on automate orders and it will transform your manual reordering rule into an automated reordering rule, which works as usual. But the thing with manual reordering rule is that you have more flexibility. So the question is, do you need flexibility for this product? Does it often change, or is it most of the time the same? Okay, so now let's consider the DC. To be able to replenish the shops, it has to be replenished itself. It has to be filled in. I have 43 units in stock, which is below the minimum quantity, so it appears by default. There is the filter to reorder. This is below the min quantity, so it is to reorder. Now I will reorder, and let's say I know I will manufacture some myself, so I want to buy some from vendor. I will just take 2 units from a vendor, and especially I'm hesitating vendor 1 or vendor 2. No, vendor 2 goes faster regardless of the price. I will make the purchase order from vendor 2. So I want to replenish 2 units from my supplier to the distribution center, and I have defined everything I wanted. I have changed the quantity because I just want 2 units and not units to reach this maximum quantity, and I can do order once. This tells me, look, it has generated automatically a purchase order, or at least an RFQ. So I click on the RFQ, and here I have the 2 units. Because my supplier agrees with the price, I can confirm it, and then I can receive the products. I validate this, apply, and the 2 units are in my inventory. So if I go back on this replenishment menu, what I can see is that we still have this line displayed. Because now in the distribution center, we have 45 units in stock and forecasted, but the minimum quantity is still above this. It's still 50. So we should order 35 to meet this. And these 35, actually, what we want to do is to manufacture these. So I will change the route here. That's where you can really take advantage of the huge flexibility of this menu. This is really, really convenient. And I change this with a manufacturer route. And I say, okay, here I have just one bill of material, but if I had multiple, I could select another one. And so if I do order once, I will just launch a manufacturing order to produce those 35 units. So let's do it. Order once. And if I go to my manufacturing application, it has generated a manufacturing order of 35 units, as I just said. Check availability. Yes, I have my wood panels. I have said I have put a huge stock up front, and I mark this as done. Once the manufacturing order has been done, has been produced, the units appear in the inventory, and we have nothing here to do because we have nothing that is below the stocks. Okay? If I remove the to reorder, I can see that now in the DC stock, distribution center stock, I have sufficient units, so we do not need to replenish again, and so it does not appear here. But now let's imagine with the, let's change a bit the figures, and with a single door in the Belgian shop, I need to have some stocks. But here I have 30 units on hand, 30 units forecasted, and let's say now the min quantity of the manual reordering rule is 50, and the max is 100. So we want to have more stock in the shop. So it means that now this amount is below the minimum quantity. So if I refresh it, I go back to replenishment, this line appears by default, is displayed because the forecasted quantity is below the min quantity. So I need to get replenished here. How can I do that? So we have seen that we can easily purchase from supplier. So we could do that here by choosing the buy route. We could choose the manufacturer route, but in this case, this warehouse is not meant to manufacture, so we will not choose it. But the other option for this is the most commonly used is to replenish from distribution center. But let's say the distribution center is actually further than the other shop, and the other shop has some units in stock. So let's choose to replenish the Belgian shop from the French shop. But I don't want to reach 100 because it's too much from this shop. So let me just say, okay, I don't order 70 here from the shop, I just order 10. And so we've seen we can purchase from suppliers, we can replenish while using a manufacturing order, but we can also replenish while using an internal transfer. If I do order once here, what I expect is that an internal transfer is generated from the French shop to the Belgium shop. So let's group by warehouse, and if I take my French shop here, I see one delivery that I need to process. I click on it, check availability, and these are the 10 units I just mentioned here. And I say, look, validate, I deliver this in direction of the Belgian shop. Once it has been delivered by the French shop, we go to the Belgian shop, and here we see we have something to receive. Once it's received, I just validate the action as usual, and I say, look, I have received the item. Once this is received, I go to replenishment, and I see that I have 30 units plus 10 that I just transferred, so 40 units, which is really good. Now I want to order still more because 40 I'm still below the minimum quantity here. I still don't want to show how to replenish from suppliers because it's easy, we have seen how it works. So let's reorder from the distribution center. I remove to reorder so that I have some visibility on the stocks of the distribution center. I see there are 18 stock. I need to order 60. That's super fine. I can do it. So I just click here on Another route, I want to supply my Belgian shop from the distribution center. It's still manual, and I will make sure that I reach the maximum quantity, so I order the 60. If I do order once, I expect this to have generated one transfer from the distribution center here to, after once it's done, to the Belgian shop. And here, indeed, I have the receipt to be done. And I validate the receipt of the 60 units, and now it's all there. If I do replenishment, only one line is shown by default, which is the one of single doors, with 20 units forecasted for the DC, the distribution center, because now we have replenished the shop, so there are less units in the distribution center. The number of units goes below the minimum quantity, and so we need to reorder again, and we can decide, for example, to go back to, we don't have the time to manufacture, so we go to the suppliers, and we need to reorder 60, and I do order once, and it's always the same story. It works fine, it's easy, it's really super convenient. So let me go back to my main screen, because it's the end of this presentation, of this talk. I hope really you have enjoyed it. You have learned a lot on this new replenishment menu. I hope you will use it, you will get to know it. I thank you very much for your attention. I really think this new replenishment method is a huge improvement, and you need to take advantage of it. But if you have additional questions to understand exactly how it works, I'm still here willing to answer this and give you any additional comments. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Q&A of this presentation. My name is Alexander, and I'll be the interviewer during the interview, and I'm joined here with Gilles, who, first of all, thank you, Gilles, for the interesting talk that you made.
Thank you. Hello, Alexander.
And I can see there's already a lot of questions in the chat that we want to cover. So I'll go immediately, I'll dive into the first question. Coming from Alexis De Wolf, he asks you, what happens when you click on the order once when there is no vendors or maybe multiple vendors?
Yeah, so actually what you need to know is that a reordering rule is more or less the same logic when it's manual or automated. It's just that the trigger will be either automated or manual. In that situation, if you have no vendor, it's like a reordering rule or MTO. If you have no vendor, nothing can be generated automatically, because the system needs to have this information to create an RFQ. However, if you have multiples, so of course the idea in that situation is to choose one, because that's the gain of this manual reordering rule, is that you can pick really the vendor that you want to use. However, if you do not select any, by default it will take the first vendor in your vendor price list, sorry. So in the purchase stuff of the product, you can set all the vendors from which you can buy the product, and the first one will be taken by default.
All right, great. Another question coming from David. David Monico is asking, can we receive a notification when the stock goes below the minimum quantity?
Yeah, actually, the idea is that this replenishment menu is super simple, and that people will need to replenish like every day, and so they will go by default regularly in this menu. To the best of my knowledge, we don't have a notification when one product gets below zero in the standard version of Odoo by default. However, maybe with playing with like automated actions, I guess it would be possible to make it. But to be honest, I never tried. This is a specific case that I did not consider.
All right. Okay. So yeah, would be maybe possible with Studio, but I have to check a little bit more.
I think it would be possible, yeah, but needs to be checked. But once again, the logic is that you will need to replenish every day. You will be several times every day in this menu to see what you have on your plate today. And so you don't really need a notification. Maybe in some cases, if it's urgent, then it makes sense, but most of the time it will not be necessary.
All right, clear. Thank you, Gilles. Here's a new question coming in from Freddy. Freddy is asking us, does it also work for products where no max and min quantities are set?
So the thing is that in this new menu, you have two types of products. Products with manual reordering rules, and a manual reordering rule imply to have a minimum and a maximum. So if you do not put any minimum or maximum, I mean, it's completely another logic, so it makes no sense. However, you also have in this new menu all the products with negative forecasted quantity. So all products that are likely to be reordered soon because you need some more units in your stock to be able to deliver it. So if you do not put any minimum or maximum, so it's not manual reordering rule, but it would be by default there as soon as it gets in the negative forecasted quantities. So I guess this will be by default already tackled in Odoo.
All right, great. Another question coming from Dom. Does the replenishment tool replace the reordering rules or does it work in parallel? Are changes made in the replenishment temporary, say when you adjust minimum, maximum?
Yeah, so we need really to make clear that reordering rules like automated still exist in the same way as before. So you can keep working with reordering rules as before, automated ones, but in addition, you have another concept, which is the manual reordering rules, which provide you with some possibilities to tweak easily, like the route, the minimum quantity, the maximum quantity. And over there, you can do everything you want. You can change that super easily. And as soon as you make a change, actually, it will save it for the next time. So if you just in your manual reordering rule, if you just change the minimum, then for the next time, it will be just kept for the next time. And but similarly, in all the reordering rules, you can also make appear all the automated reordering rules, and over there you can also change the parameters of this, but just when you change it after, it's saved for the next time.
Okay, thank you, Gilles. Another question coming from Christian Lecoufle. He's asking if we have multiple channels, will it be possible to merge different PO into one purchase order?
I don't know what exactly he means by channel, but the thing is that there is nothing super specific there to this menu. So if you have multiple RFQ created, if it's to the same vendor and it's open, it will keep add up all the quantities in the same RFQ. If it's to different vendors, of course, it will create different POs. But there is nothing specific from this part that will change the way Odoo works in a more general way.
Okay. Yeah. Question from Chris Williams. If your vendor does not confirm the PO or gives a later date, will the replenishment recognize that?
So there is nothing specific related to this. The new replenishment method is just a way to generate more easily, faster, and with more visibility, new RFQs, new manufacturing orders, new internal transfers. But the way it is managed afterwards is really nothing changed from the previous version. So this is not the objective. But I would say that we have other tools in Odoo, like OTD, like a reminder to the suppliers that we could use in parallel with this. Yeah. And we could make it work that way, but it's not automated, it's not correlated, it's just something you can add up and use different things, but it's not directly from this menu that you will manage that.
All right, clear. I can see there is a final question or a question coming from David Barrett. He's asking us, can you change an automated rule back to manual?
Yeah, so the thing is that it's super easy when you want to change from manual to automated reordering rule, because on the new replenishment menu, you have this button, order, I don't remember exactly, but order, you have order once, it's not that one, it's the other order, like every time or something like that. And also, you can still access the reordering rule automated menu. It changed of place, but you can still access it. It's in the settings. And when you find that, you can simply like edit once and change a trigger. So on each reordering rule, you have a trigger which is either auto or manual. If you auto or manual, yeah. If you change it, you just switch the reordering rule either from manual to auto or the other way around.
All right, clear. Thank you, Gilles. Let's have a look if we have any remaining questions. I can see Pierre Lucas is asking you, hi, would it be possible to automate replenishment by week? If I need 15 woods next week and 15 more the week after, I want my automated replenishment to generate an RFQ with only 15 woods.
So the thing is that if you want, so basically what he says, he wants 30 units, but he wants like to order these like today, and but he wants to receive like 15 and 15. So I think this is not a use case really for which the new method has been thought. So I would say it's more like playing with Odoo, you can generate like the 30 units from the new replenishment mechanism, and then you can arrange with the vendor to get 15 and 15. Or if you want to make sure you make it like separate POs, what you have to do is to order first 15, then you confirm it as a PO. Once the RFQ has been confirmed into a PO, if you reorder 15 afterwards, then it will be another RFQ, and so it will be really split. So I think this is still more like the usual way of using Odoo, and nothing really specific to this new menu. But it's always possible to manage, of course.
Yeah, I agree. Then maybe a question which I thought was an interesting one regarding the availability in the community edition. Is this available also in the community?
Yeah, good news. It's available for the community, so our friends will be super happy with that. So it's a disruptive feature. It's really a nice tool, and it will be in the community version. So super nice.
All right, that's good news.
Yeah.
Maybe final question to end the Q&A. However, for everyone who is joining us in the Q&A, don't hesitate. We will provide the Jitsi link into the chatter where you will be able to answer all of the questions that Jill did not have the time to answer right now. He'll be in the room, so don't worry, and certainly don't hesitate asking your questions in this room where you can find the link below in the chat. To round off this Q&A, a final question, Jill. In your example, did you select any specific configurations to set it up?
Yeah, so what I want to make it clear regarding the demonstration that I made during the presentation is that there is nothing specific to activate to use this new replenishment mechanism. So that's fine. However, for the sake of this use case, I use like multiple warehouses. I use multiple locations, multiple routes, and so I have activated the multi-step routes and the storage locations. But that's just for still again, it's for the usual way of using Odoo, but you can very well use it with other multi-step route. But of course, the more routes you have, the more you can play with the different routes, and the more you really exploit all the power of this new mechanism.
All right, great. Well, Jill, thank you a lot for
all
of the interesting and clear answers. I can see that my opinion is being shared by the people attending, so really good job. Thank you for the talk.
Thank you
to you for being here. Welcome, of course. And well, thank you to everyone joining us again. Make sure to also tune in into the final talks of today, and want to wish everyone a lovely end of the Odoo experience this evening with the remaining talks. Have a nice evening and bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.